Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards. In this video, I'm reacting to your baseball card hot takes. Baseball card hot takes is an episode where I will ask people on Instagram what their baseball card hot takes are. People will submit their questions to me or their statements, and I react if I agree or disagree on those statements. So let's just jump right into it. The very first one I received is, there's no riskier hobby investment than starting MLB pitchers. I also polled my audience. I think I had like 500 responses on yes or no if they agreed, just so you had some bigger sample size there as well. There is a riskier investment in the hobby, and that is football quarterbacks to me. I don't understand it. I mean, MLB pitchers may be the worst investment in baseball, at least the worst risky investment in baseball. You also have minor league pitchers and minor league players as well, where prospecting can be really bad. But there's kind of a cyclical nature to prospecting that you can get out pretty predictively. But with starting pitchers, it's brutal, especially right now. I'll say football quarterbacks are worse, but then we have pitchers, which, yeah, I think that's a very fair thing to say, especially for big league baseball. If we exclude the minor leagues, it's impossible, it feels like, to find a pitcher who's going to stay healthy, who debuts young enough, who has all the hype. We're looking at Paul Skeens potentially of saving MLB pitchers in baseball cards, but we're gonna have to see if he can stay healthy and avoid the injury bug. Next up, Heritage Real One autographs are better than Topps Chrome autographs. Surprisingly, almost 60% of my Instagram audience agreed. So that's over 500 people that were actually polled for that. And I tend to agree for everything that is not the gold refractor, the orange refractor, the red refractor, and super refractor. You could even maybe include the blue refractor versus a Heritage Real One base potentially. But I think I'd rather have a gold refractor and better of Topps Chrome, but for a base Heritage Real One and a base Topps Chrome, definitely take the Heritage Real One. They're more short printed. I think that they're better. There's only one parallel of those, which is the red ink, which is to the number the year was printed from. So like in 2018, it was out of 69 from the 1969 design. It's out of 75 for the red ink. Only parallels, no one of one. So that's one huge advantage of Real Ones. The autographs usually hold better on card because it's pen on paper versus pen on chrome, so they don't fade as much. Heritage Real One autographs are awesome. I love them, but depends on the parallel. If it's a gold versus a red, a gold Topps Chrome autograph versus a red ink autograph from Heritage, I would probably take the gold Topps Chrome autograph. More breakers equals better opportunities for singles collectors on secondary markets. Breakers are good because they help you collect just your favorite team/player. I respect all of those hustling to do breaks. In the future, I may do a breaker too. But it's one of those things where I don't think the hobby is better off because of breakers. I think it's helped the hobby grow, but as of right now, they don't really help with singles hitting the market. They may hit slightly faster, but this causes cards to be more expensive. So I don't want to sound bitter or anything, but in my opinion, we'd be fine without breakers. I think we'd absolutely be fine without breakers. Singles would still hit the market. I think people would have the opportunity to open more wax by themselves because it'd be cheaper. So in my opinion, I don't agree. People did agree with this one over here, but over here, people did not agree. But overall, I think we would be just fine without breakers. We just open more wax because instead of it being $150 for a box to update, it would be $45 like it was in 2018. 2018 update with Ohtani, Acuna, Soto. It's like $40 for a hobby box. That's insane. And now for any product, we're looking at $150, and that's partially because, yes, there's more participants in the hobby, but there's higher print runs than ever, and it's just because breakers are buying inventory and then doing breaks. In my opinion, I think we'd be just fine without breakers for singles. Next up, home field advantage card should be in Topps Chrome and be a true case hit. I love this. I love the idea. I like the home field advantage cards. I think they're great, and it'd be cool if they were chromium and they had parallels and they were case hits similar to Downtowns and Optic. I think that would be fantastic, but that's not the case. They are in flagship and they're like the foily cards. They're not quite as good. They're not very rare, about 3,000 to 4,000 usually printed of each. But I love the concept. If there were only like 100 of them made and they were super short prints in Topps Chrome, I think that'd be amazing. Topps, if you're listening, make these hits in Topps Chrome. Make them really rare. Make a chromium version. People will like them. Bowman first cards are the most overrated cards in the hobby. Not sure if this is a hot take. 50% agreed, 50% didn't agree. So I'll be the tiebreaker and say it's tough. I see the point of view, but at the same time, like, Bowman Chrome first have become the staple card because they are a clear card to go towards. In a hobby in 2024 where it's so murky what you should collect, you know exactly what Bowman Chrome autograph first to collect in the Bowman Chrome first base. Bowman Chrome first base may be overrated, but the Bowman Chrome autograph has a staple in the hobby since Albert Pujols in 2001. So I personally don't hate the autographs. I like the Bowman Chrome first autographs, but if someone did not like them, I wouldn't blame them. And I'm cool with 50% disagreeing with me. And it's one of those things where I like them because they're a clear, obvious thing of what to target. There's very few cards I personally would like invest in of players nowadays, and Bowman Chrome first would be one of them myself. Low mid grades of pre-1980s will plummet soon as young adults have no ties to those players. So basically saying, as the older portion of the hobby is no longer collecting for whatever reason, as time passes, everything that's vintage won't be as sought after because we didn't watch those players. There could be some truth in this, but plummet is pretty strong. And I think for the marquee players like Mickey Mantle or the Honus Wagners, all those type of players, let's say Willie Mays, I think they'll be fine. The Hank Aaron's, maybe you could worry more about like the second, third, fourth tier. Maybe Harmon Killebrew might have a hard time having value in the future, but I think vintage will have such a place in the hobby, especially as the hobby swings the opposite direction, where vintage was just base cards and now we have all these different things. I think there still is going to be a place for this in the hobby. I do think it's not going to be as big of a place. I personally don't have interest in a lot of vintage cards, which you probably know from my channel, but I still like the players. I'd rather have like a really cool Hank Aaron autograph patch card that is from like the early 2000s versus a Hank Aaron rookie card from 1954. Just my 2 cents, but I understand where this person's coming from, and 55% agreed. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this one as well. Rookie cards for stars would lap football and basketball if not for Bowman first. For those that are new to baseball cards, you have Bowman Chrome first, Bowman first that have the first logo, and that's when they're basically drafted. Right when they're drafted, they get those, and then they can't have a rookie card with the rookie logo until they actually debut in Major League Baseball. And because of that, it kind of splits the value where the money is going. I just said I like the Bowman Chrome first autograph, but rookie cards would have more of my money if that's all that existed. Like just straight up, that's what would happen. And I do think that, I don't know if it would lap those other sports, but I think things like Dynasty, Topps Chrome Gold autographs, those would be humongous cards if it wasn't for Bowman Chrome first. They'd be massive cards. They'd go for a lot more. So I do agree they would be worth significantly more if it was for Bowman Chrome first. Part of me wishes that it was either Bowman Chrome first or nothing, or rookies or nothing. I hate being split, but unfortunately that's just the world that we live in as baseball card collectors currently. All right, next question. There's never been a worse time to open pack/wax in the hobby's history than now. This is tough because there's 2 trains of thought. The first one is if you were to open this set 1991 Fleer, you would never get anything good out of it. Like you can get some cool cards, you can get Randy Johnson, you can get Nolan Ryan, you can get Ken Griffey Jr., you can get Barry Bonds. That's cool, but you're not going to get an autograph. You're not going to get a numbered card. You're not going to get anything worth more than $1 or $2. While in today's wax, you can hit really big. It's more like a lottery ticket. You can get cards worth tens of thousands of dollars, in some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars if you get the right guy and if you wait the right amount of time. But I think from an ROI perspective, yeah, right now, from making your money back and for how expensive cards are in general, the risk is not worth the reward, and it can be brutal to lose 90% of your value instantly. But I will say the new products, they are more fun in the sense you can get cool parallels and cool inserts and cool numbered cards and legends autographs out of them. That is better than in the past. But from an ROI perspective, I don't think there's been a worse time in the hobby, to be fully honest with you. More flagship parallels is a good thing because it makes classic parallels more coveted. Overproduction of flagship and Topps Chrome is a good thing because the parallels gain and sustain value. So these were 2 similar comments, and they kind of pulled out roughly the same. 75% said no on the first one, 85% said no on the second one. And I understand where these people are coming from. They're basically saying there's more parallels, so because of that, it's harder to pull the really good ones, which makes them more sought after and meaning they're going to be more valuable. I disagree personally. I've actually seen the opposite. I feel like people are confused about what to collect, especially those that are newer. They don't know what you and I like, right? In our world, we might like the black parallel, but they might not care about the black. They might even know about the black parallel. They just pulled a really cool camo parallel at 25, even though sometimes that sells for less than the black parallel, right? It's confusing. And so to say it helps the classic parallels, I disagree, because you have to be educated around what the classic parallels are, and those are being devalued. I will say for Topps Chrome, there are like gold refractors that are synonymous with value across all of sports card hobbies, but it can be a really tough thing to know exactly what everybody likes at what point for new people in the hobby. So producing so many parallels just kind of discourages going after stuff, or maybe it encourages going after the wrong thing. When we say wrong thing, there's no really wrong thing for a collector, but from like our perspective, if you're watching this, you probably know what the classic parallels are. We can talk about that in another video, but it could be harder for new people to know what to target and that those are even cards people care about. So I don't think it helps. I actually think it hurts because I have a whole mess of different cards that won't have as much value for some reason. All right, that is it for this baseball card hot takes episode. Let me know in the comments down below what you agreed with me on and what you disagreed with me on, and I will see you in the next video.